My name is Amanda, and this is the story of how I rose from nothing, from the dust and broken dreams of my childhood, into the woman I am today. A woman who walks in grace not because life was kind, but because I learned how to survive its storms. I was born in a small village where the sun beat down on the red earth like an angry god, and hunger wasn't just a feeling, it was part of our daily routine. My mother was a seamstress who never earned enough, and my father, well, he left when I was barely 2. I never knew the sound of his voice or the safety of his arms. It was just my mother and me, against the world. She worked her fingers raw so I could go to school. I remember her waking up before dawn, stitching clothes under a flickering lamp, humming lullabies to herself. "Education is the key," she would whisper more to herself than to me. "And I'll be damned if my daughter stays stuck in this mud." But the world wasn't kind. When I was 11, my mother fell ill. At first, she just seemed tired. Then her body began to fail her. She died quietly one rainy night, her hand in mine, her last words urging me to be strong. That night, I grew up. I was passed from one relative to another. Some kind, others not so much. I learned quickly how to protect myself, how to read people, how to hide my tears until no one was watching. I sold water on the street, cleaned houses after school, and sometimes went to bed hungry. But I never dropped out of school. Never. Books became my escape, my secret world. I would read in candlelight until my eyes burned anything I could find. I remember reading a tattered copy of Things Fall Apart under my aunt's bed, and something in me just clicked. I wanted more. I wanted everything. I finished high school top of my class and won a scholarship to a small college in the city. That was a turning point. I was rough around the edges, unsure in crowds, and painfully aware of my second-hand clothes and thick accent. But I was hungry not for food anymore, but for knowledge, for progress, for freedom. In college, I worked part-time as a cleaner at a restaurant. That's where I met Mrs. Owusu, a wealthy woman who owned a chain of boutiques. She saw me reading behind the counter one afternoon and struck up a conversation. I guess she saw a bit of herself in me. She too had come from nothing. She became my mentor, teaching me everything about business, poise, and self-worth. After graduation, she helped me start a small clothing brand. Nothing fancy, just handmade accessories and dresses. I designed, I sewed, I marketed, and I delivered orders myself. Slowly, word spread. My brand grew. I began dressing small influencers, then local celebrities. Within 5 years, I had 3 stores and an online platform that shipped across the country. And then, one afternoon at a charity fashion show, I met David. He was quiet, not the flashy, boastful kind. Just a man with kind eyes and a sharp mind. We talked for hours that night about books, purpose, and the weight of expectations. I didn't know until later that he was one of the youngest tech millionaires in the country. He never led with money. Instead, he led with sincerity. We dated for 2 years, and throughout, he never treated me like a woman from humble beginnings. He saw me not for what I had, or didn't have, but for who I was. Independent, resilient, real. We got married last year. It was a quiet ceremony in the garden of our home. No extravagant press, no headlines. Just love, laughter, and the sweet scent of orange blossoms in the air. Now, I sit here 32 years old, sipping tea on a sunny veranda, writing my story not because it's over, but because I want other young girls to know. Your beginning doesn't define your end. I'm still rising, still growing, still becoming.